welcome to Nightmare Stories of the Other Side. Joining us today, we have Allison Bates, a paranormal investigator and tarot reader out of Michigan. She has been investigating for over 20 years and reading tarot for 5. Working as a paranormal tour guide slash investigator at Eloise Psychiatric Hospital has given her the opportunity to expand her knowledge and gift of clairvoyance, as well as help people with concerns and their own experiences. Allison thinks that respecting the history and culture of a location is paramount to help bridge the misunderstandings around what we do as investigators. Welcome in, Allison. Tell us a little more
You.
about yourself.
What would you like to know? I'm so bad at talking about myself.
Okay, well, how about we just start with Eloise? We'll just start big and go from there.
Okay. So I've been there since, I have to think about it, 22. And getting my foot in the door was the haunted attraction part of things. So, and then from there, I just kind of expanded out where I'm doing the special effects makeup, and the paranormal.
Uh,
So for like the paranormal tours there,
Mm.
like how often do they have those and like how long do the tours generally go for?
It's so monthly, it goes from March to the first weekend of December usually. It's every weekend unless there's a bigger event going on or if somebody rents it out for a private loc or private investigation, then those happen a lot during the week though. Not usually Saturday nights are private investigations. Um, so you can rent it out at any point in time, like if you ever wanted to. Um, and then the public's they're every Saturday, most Saturdays. And then they run from 8 to 2 in the morning.
And then so like for the private investigation, is that like how many hours does that normally go for?
It's the same time. It's 8 to 2.
Okay.
The only exception is if somebody decides that they want to book it out overnight. I think that's going to be newer, something newer for us. Like we have the overnight lockdowns, as we call them, where it's still a public investigation, but then they get free roam after midnight, like midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning when it's an overnight. So then you can't go on the haunted attraction part, but you can roam the building with your own equipment. You can rent out equipment. It's kind of like collateral. Give me your driver's license. I give you a REM pod.
Okay. Yeah, I've only seen pictures of the location, so like how big of a building is it?
So it's crazy because I wish everyone knew what Eloise looked like from an aerial view, I guess, because it was its own city at one point in time. It had its own postcode, post office. They were self-sustaining, bakery, own laundry building, like everything. They just the water tower that was there. Um, and so looking at it now, what you're going to see is building D, and that's the K Beard building, either same building. Um, it's big. Honestly, I can't tell you how many square foot it is because I totally forgot. It does have 5 floors, and then there's the basement, and then there's the sub level, and there's part of the tunnels in a certain area that I can't say out loud, but you can't get far just due to the water being down there. You can't get far at all. Um, Still cool, still really cool to see. That's where if you guys watch Expedition X, they snuck down right in the spot I'm talking about, actually, and they caught that thing peeking around the corner staring at them.
hmm.
But on a whole, it was complete, like 1 mile by 1 mile by 1 mile, and it had 78 buildings at its peak. The Wayne County General Hospital was the big hospital there. If you ever look that up, you're probably going to see the smaller Wayne County General Hospital. And then there was what was called Building N, which it was a quarter mile long. It was massive. It was just massive. It looks like a devil's fork, a devil's fork. So it's a long building, and then it has like two E's on each side. So there's prongs of wings on each side from the west and the east side.
Interesting.
Very.
So
That's
can
crazy
you,
that it has 78 buildings.
In its peak.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
only the firehouse left, power plant, and building D left.
Uh,
Yeah. They built a golf course behind it now. So I get to heckle those people all the time.
oh, that's fun.
I know.
So can you give us a little history on the building, like from when it was built to like the present, and like even some of the paranormal hauntings there?
So yeah, history would take me a long time. And there's so much history that we don't know, unfortunately, due to things just being either left behind or documents were destroyed. That's not a secret. But it started in 1832, not at that location though. If you know that it's on Michigan Ave, it was Nankin County, which is now Westland, Michigan. That's where you're going to see Eloise if you ever look at it. It started as a poorhouse, like many of these places do. So it was in Hamtramck. If you know your roads, it was Mount Elliott and Gratiot where they cross. There was the little poorhouse that was built there. And then by the time 1839 came around, it moved locations to where it is now. And it was still the poorhouse. It was like an almshouse.
All right.
It just kept expanding from there. Like just kept growing and kept growing.
So what are some of the like haunted accounts there? Because like I tried looking online, I couldn't really find much of anything specific.
Let's see. I'm trying to think of like old stories or stories people have told me. And like, there's a couple of people I wish I could be like, hey, there's a few people that have investigated since John practically bought the building in 2016. And they have a lot of experiences. A lot of Eloise is motion lights, and they've figured out how to communicate that way. The cat balls, of course, flashlight game. I know some people hate the flashlight game. I absolutely love it. We've had so much success with that. Um, there's always the story of the creeper. If you haven't heard of the creeper, then you probably don't know anything about Eloise, because that's usually the first thing that comes up. And do I think it's a demon? No. Sorry, I may get some hate for that one, but I don't think the creeper is one thing, and I do not think it's a demon. I don't think demons are there at all. I would call what I've experienced elementals, when it's the weird kind of human, but not quite, crawling up the walls and across the ceiling. I think those are the elementals.
All right.
As for, let's see, I was trying to think of actual. I mean, I've had people standing right in front of me, my own eyes, and my brain just doesn't click, and it takes me a minute. Like, oh, like my group is behind me, my other living person is down the hallway because we were doing an experiment, and there was somebody standing 10 feet in front of me, solid black, no features. It kind of looked like if it was a guy in a hoodie, like slightly bent over, but the only reason why I even have proof for that one is this lady in my group started smacking my arm. Like, did you see that? Did you see that? Did you see that? And I asked her what she saw, and she described it to a T what she saw. And it was what I saw. Same thing. So I'm glad I wasn't the only one. Peekers, but peekers. Like, that's
Peekers?
huge. Yes. The ones that just peek out the door.
Okay.
What are you doing? Oh, it's huge.
So do like any of the spirits there, do I even like, know them by name, or just kind of not really?
Yes, but that's where I personally get a little skeptical. And one of the things in, of course, the paranormal field is, and this was one of my answers to the difficult question you had, like, what do you find difficult? Is you don't ever really know who you're talking to. Sure, a psychic medium does. As an investigator, you can call for somebody and they can say that they're that person, but are they?
mhm.
So I do believe Bridget Hughes is still there. She was the first actual psychiatric, or as they said, insane patient put into Eloise in 1841. So she lived it was 60 years almost, or over 50 years that she was there. So for her to still be there would make sense. And she goes by Biddy. Don't ever call her Bridget.
Okay.
She's one. I do think she's there for sure. I do believe some doctors may be kind of like, I think their energy is lingering there. I don't think they're stuck there or anything. But you will see residual a lot. Like the doctor walking from the doctor's elevator into the operating room on floor 5. It's just repetitive. You're going to see him, right to left. It doesn't change. So that's why I think that's residual. It does look like a person in the moment when you do see it. It is that vivid.
That's cool. You want to take some questions? Ask some questions? No, you don't? Okay. So for doing so also like you do makeup there, you said, and an actress. So is that during like the haunted events, like around Halloween or
Yeah.
just kind
Yeah.
of throughout the year?
There are some haunt events throughout the year. I think they're planning on doing more in the future with that. I was the mean intake lady at the very, very beginning. I'm the first brat you see when people walk in. I was usually yelling and bantering people. That was my job. But if you walk in, people are usually just enthralled by the lobby, and I have to get them to come through my doors to go into the haunt.
Okay.
I mean, if you like haunting and scaring people, it's the job for you for sure.
Yeah, we have one similar to that in Minnesota. Up in Duluth, they have a haunted ship up there that every year they transform it into, kind of the same thing. You go into the hull of the ship, and
Yeah.
it's pretty interesting because I got to investigate there back in July and got to walk
Oh,
the
so
whole
cool.
setup, and it was pretty amazing.
That would be very cool. Yeah, on a ship.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So for other paranormal investigations, it also on your profile it says you do with anywhere and everywhere. Can you tell us a little about them?
Yeah, I never did this for a job before. It was always, most of it was trying to get my own experiences. Um, and it's gone on, it's been over 20 years. Just, yeah, I mean, you can call it urban exploring back in the day if you wanted to, but because we didn't bring REM pods and recordings and all that during the teenage years. We wanted to go for the experience of it really and see what was going on. So we did that, but also I've done some houses where people are having issues in their houses, and I have a couple of people that I know in different groups, and they've called me out to help with those. See if it's, see what it is really.
Mm-hmm. So in your urban exploration and investigation, what kind of places have you been to that may be known or not so known to people?
I'm not gonna say I actually urban explored because I never like broke in anywhere.
Okay.
So I'm
Fair
gonna
enough.
not use that phrase. There was the Northville tunnels. I personally never made it to the tunnels, which darn. There's I think a Big Lots or something over there now. I don't even know. It got built over. There's parking lot, not accessible. A lot of people back in the day also snuck into Eloise, I'll say. Um, a lot of cemeteries, I guess, a lot of cemeteries when it was kind of going out and just exploring and seeing different areas. There is Armada, Michigan, north of me, and that whole town is just interesting, strange. I hope I don't get hate for that, but there's a very peculiar vibe out there. And then I knew somebody who lived out there. I won't say how long ago. It was a long time ago. Um, it was weird. It was weird. I had one of my most scariest experiences literally in his house. And that's the one that's my, I was waiting for the cats to go off. That's one of my scariest stories, but that's the one I don't really talk about. It's paranormal, but it wasn't a ghost. It wasn't a spirit. can't tell you what it was. Like, I literally don't know what it was. I have an idea of what it was, but that one still scares me.
Interesting. So as far as like, the well-known locations, have you ever been to like any memorable ones?
Just last weekend. So this is that's my goal for this year, is to get to actual locations that are known to be haunted and, have probably been investigated before. That's the goal for this year. So Trans Allegheny's coming up. That's in the book. And I don't know if my head is wrapped completely around that I'm actually going there, and I think in a couple months. That one is a bucket list and going to be, I'm going to use the word intimidating. That the stories there, it's along the lines of another Eloise, and it being a psychiatric hospital, a mental asylum at some point, but I don't know. I'm a little intimidated. I won't lie. So that's one. Brushy Mountain Penitentiary. Gonna be going to that one probably in the summer.
Okay.
Hopefully not when it's cold again. We went to Madison Seminary last weekend,
Nice.
and I I thought I was going to be experiencing going in there as an investigator. No, every single clairvoyant psychic thing in me just opened right up. That wasn't totally expected. It was interesting for myself, but it was such bad history there. And that's another place that they do know of some things, but a lot of the rest is in the dark and secret. We're still going through EVPs though. We've found 15 so far. There's one that's perfect class A. The rest are C, B minus. So still trying to figure those out. I do have a couple pictures that I took back to back that I need to send to, I think she's maybe the manager. It wasn't Adam. It wasn't Addie. Rebecca.
Okay.
When we got there, she gave us a tour and everything. And I really wanted to send 2 pictures to her and really just ask, like, how can this be one of those situations? I took a picture and like back to back, and it's looking out of a window. So you can see the room, you can see the window frame, you can still see everything like that. But the outside is completely different, completely different. Like one picture, there's the light that's outside, it's on. The other picture, it's not. Then there's like this tentacle-y thing coming from the left side in one picture, not the other. And the tree is gone in one picture, and the tree is there in the other picture, if it's even a tree. I don't know. The building, half of the building disappears on the other side. Like if you look out the window, you can see there's another building in the distance. It's like it got cut off because you can see all the snow on the ground. So I'm thinking Silent Hill, or did we just like go into a different level while everyone is still, a planet Earth level? I don't know. That one boggled my mind. I haven't figured
Like a
that one
soft
out.
spot between dimensions.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it looks like. And every time,
Absolutely.
the more I look at them, the more I question, like, what is going on here? Because they're not the same. You can see the room, you can see the frame, but literally outside of that window, everything is different. Not one, besides the snow, not one single thing is the same. Yeah, that was weird. It was quiet when we were there, but I don't think it was as quiet as we thought it was.
That's good to know because we'll be heading there end of May, Memorial Day weekend.
Okay. Yeah, I need to go back after the experience we had. I have to go back.
Now that's been a bucket list location for a while, so we're checking that one off.
Do EVP a
All
lot.
right.
Okay.
Yeah, that place was interesting to say the least.
Let's see what else. So we might have already touched on this one, but out of places you've been so far, what would you say would be the scariest location?
For me personally,
Yeah.
there is a cemetery in Pontiac, Michigan. There's 3 of them that are There's two on the north side, and then there's one on the south side, and something is going on the one on the south side. The long story short, I was picked up and thrown, and the
Jeez.
only reason, well, I never challenge, I never provoke, and this was one of those stupid situations where I messed up. We were standing by these two trees, and it was like you just couldn't get past the gateway. It was like there was this giant door there, wall even. Um, Finally, we lost time. We lost time. We were standing in the same spot for over 3 hours, and none of us realized. It felt like maybe 20, 30 minutes. We had phones and watches on, and over 3 hours had gone by.
Wow.
So can't explain that one either. That's never happened that I know of. Um, Dummy me decided, screw this. I went for it. I started taking steps towards like that threshold. It felt like a rush. It didn't feel like hands or anything. It felt like a rush of very, very strong wind, a gust came from below me and up. And the only reason why I even knew I was in the air, I had a friend at the time that was 6'3", and my back hit his shoulder, completely knocked the wind out of me. I hit the ground hard, and I didn't know, like, I opened my eyes and I'm like, what? Your brain just can't comprehend what just happened. But I do hear this giant man to my right screaming, oh my God, we gotta get out of here. Allison, we gotta get out of here. I'm still trying to get everything back to normal in my own head. I get myself to my feet and I felt like I was in imminent danger. I thought I was done. Like that was how bad it was. It was impending doom. I tried running, and you know how you have those dreams where you're running underwater. You're not going anywhere. That's what it felt like. And I honestly don't know if I was going anywhere.
Hmm.
Until I heard him scream again. He's like, Allison, run. And so I started actually running at that point. That one, I would say, is my scariest because of what happened.
That's interesting for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why when the people on TV talk about getting poked, I laugh.
It's like whoopee.
Yeah, I've been grabbed, I've been touched, with fingers, like right on the Eloise. Hey, I'm here.
Yeah.
But getting picked up and thrown like that high in the air, I thought that was only on, the TV shows, pretty much.
Uh,
Not to say it
horror
doesn't happen,
movies.
but yeah, it's just how high I was, and how I think, like, looking back, it was probably 5 to 6 feet that I got thrown like up and back. And
Jeez.
then, my back hit his shoulder, and then I hit the ground.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And this was at the threshold to the cemetery there?
No, we were in the cemetery and we were already having very, very just not good feelings. It was, you could see shadows darting, especially in your peripheral, but you try to ignore that. Like, it's my peripheral. Something's playing tricks on me. No, because then you back up and you actually watch and you can see it happen. They're these dark, very black figures, and they just dart like from one area to the next. So we went in there anyway. We did probably have a warning, though. I actually almost forgot about this part. We scoped it out during the daytime first, and there was the only dead tree in the cemetery. There was crows at cardinal points, so north, south, east, west, perfectly, just standing there on the ground around this tree.
Huh.
And if you're a believer like me, I do think crows and ravens, birds are messengers.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the message of, like, bad things have happened here, don't do it. But that's technically twice I didn't listen that night. So, I mean, kind of got what I deserved.
So if you, who said something?
I was gonna say 5, 6 feet in the air. I don't know if you deserve that, but yeah, it sounds like they're
Yeah,
trying to
no,
tell you something.
you definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So for going into investigations, if you could only bring one piece of equipment with, what would it be?
That's so hard. I love my music box, but I think I would stick with a digital recorder.
All right.
That is the one thing about when you do groups and tours, you rarely get to do any sort of EVP work because people are around. Not meant, let's say I have 20 in a group. Like it's very hard to get all 20 people to sit still for however long, even if it's not that long, but not whisper to their friends or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's possible, like it's been done, but you know,
Yeah.
it's hard.
From
I
our
know I can hear people talking, so
yeah, from our experience when we did the public at Waverly, it's like, trying to investigate, it's like
People kept walking in on you and stuff.
yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
And it's like, having to wait to get in a certain area, hear people talking. It's just like
It's
Yeah.
like you hear noise, like was that a person or was it a ghost? Like
Right.
I don't know.
That's exactly why that's probably the rarest thing I do when it comes to the public investigations. I would love to. I mean, if I can get people to actually work as a group with me and get it done, that would be awesome. But it's probably the most rare out of everything.
So you already mentioned this, but like with going to Trans Allegheny, as you can't believe you're actually going there. If you had another location that you've never been to that you really want to get to, what would it be?
There are so many, so many. The one that has stood out there's two, there's more than that, but so Rolling Hills Asylum. I don't know if this is me being an empath, but I'm assuming you guys know the story of Roy, the man with gigantism.
Yep.
Okay, good. So he is at Rolling Hills, and the only thing that poor man wants is company and, somebody to talk to. And the last I heard, Rolling Hills wasn't doing investigations anymore. And that just, maybe they have switched it since I've heard that, but that just broke my heart for this man. So if there's any way I can get there, I would probably just sit and talk to him all night. It hits me in the feels. The other one would be Velisca House.
I want to go there.
That Reverend. I want to go have a chat.
Right.
Yeah.
But like the thing is, if you do Velisca, it's like
Yeah.
it said that Malvern's tied to it, so you got to kind of like do both.
I would do both. Yeah.
And they're only like a half an hour apart.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that's what Destination Fear did when they had, but they were lucky enough to have, and not lucky, but 2 and 2. So
Yeah.
2 people got the same one location, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't got that far because that's a ways away from me, but one day, hopefully soon. Because I would probably stay at the actual Velisca house.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's only like 5 hours from us, so
Oh, okay. No,
that'll probably be a next year investigation because we got so much going on this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea when, but that's another bucket list place.
Have you ever been? Oh no, you haven't probably been, but Edinburgh Manor in Iowa.
No, I do know of it.
Yeah, that's a place you need to get to.
Iowa. Okay.
Yep. So that's probably 3 hours from Velisca. So do Edinburgh, do Velisca, you're set.
Yeah, that's like going to the west side of the states, basically, and like hit all those at one time.
Yeah.
If it becomes possible, I'll make it possible.
Let's see what else. So also, you're an owner of a business, Alchemist Creatix, Black Cat Alchemy Oils.
Yeah.
Did I say that right?
That,
a little bit about that.
Fun. That was just for fun. I do have an Etsy store. That's what it is. It's just tinkering with perfume making and the essential oils. Like, of course, I have the one, frankincense, hyssop, and laurel leaf are my favorites to put on if I think I'm going into a negative area. Hyssop is what they used in exorcisms, the Catholic exorcisms. So that's a really good one if you're afraid, I guess, just to use that word. But nervous about a location. If they only talk about, demons in the basement, throw some hyssop on or frankincense.
All right.
But that is just kind of a little side project, I guess. Perfumery,
Okay.
oil making.
All right. So the only other thing that I haven't covered on what I have written down. So can you talk a little bit about your tarot reading?
Oh yeah, tarot. I've been doing that for 5 years. Did take classes and like learned that way, learned the basics, the Rider-Waite-Smith way. And then the other like Marquis de Sade, and Crowley, if I can spit his name out. There's basically those, there's more, but there's basically those three versions of tarot. I just stick with the Rider-Waite. It's the one that's known. I picked it up in 2020 and I didn't know it was going to become this huge thing for me, but yeah, now I'm going to start working. We have a museum here called the Anatomy of Death Museum, and I'm going to start reading out of the museum. It'll be fun. I've done a couple days, but they're cleaning up this room that I'm going to be in. So tomorrow, actually, I'll be in the room tomorrow.
Okay.
It'll be fun.
So I know we had discussed briefly, I'm not for sure about anybody else in here, but you said you'd be willing to do a card per person. Is that still something you'd be willing to do if everybody's okay with that, or?
Right now,
Yeah.
I would just have to go grab a deck.
Okay. You guys cool with that?
Sure.
All right.
All right, I didn't open up my feelers. Okay, yeah, I don't have any out here. I'll be right back.
All right. Maddie first.
Not me first.
Why not?
Guys.
Youngest to oldest.
Get all of Natalie's
My
deep
God.
dark secrets out in one card.
Right.
Wow.
Maddie wants to go first.
No, I don't.
Why?
You want to go first. This is your idea.
Okay, fine. I'll go first.
Yeah, the last time I had a tarot
Oh.
card read, he told me exactly what I wanted to hear. So
Okay, well, if we go oldest to youngest, and I don't think I'm first.
I think you're first.
I don't know. Is Chad older than I am, or am I older than him?
You're older.
I'm older than you are.
No.
Yeah.
So it'd be Chad first.
No.
Chad's first.
Yeah. I'm 52.
So
He's 60.
Dad
I'm
said that
70.
he was told what he wanted to hear, as in you're calling that person's bluff.
No, it was in a group where he asked if we wanted to pick a card or if we wanted him to pick a card for us.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, pick one for me. And he picked a card out of there, and he told me about something that had been weighing on me for quite a while with trying to get caught up with bills and stuff and get ahead. He was like, it's all going to come to fruition, and you're going to be okay. And it's
Okay.
like, that's what I needed to hear at that particular time.
Yeah. That's what I tell people when I do tarot. Like, I'm not fortune telling. This is just like a guidance tool, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Kind of see where you're at, see where you're going, maybe what path you need to take. The only thing is when doing, let's say there's 4 people for me here. So I may say, this card is for Chad, but somebody else may speak up and be like, that resonates with me more. Like that happens a lot. So, because energy is energy, right? So we'll see. All right, so I'm technically starting with Chad, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is there anything you actually want to focus on?
Not right now. I mean, the biggest thing with us lately is just trying to get everything going with YouTube and investigations coming up and all that. So.
All right. So overall energy is you are looking basically to start something new, or at least the next chapter in your life. I just hid my own card, which is going to lead to basically getting what you want. So you are wishing and hoping for something right now and wanting to make that happen, but this is something that's going to be of the feels and make you feel awesome. Like it's not necessarily there can be practicality to it. There's always, technique to get there, but this is going to hit you in the feels. Like you are going to feel like you finally got that wish fulfillment, basically. I don't know if you can see that. The Nine of Cups is what that is.
Yep.
And then I just look at the deck on the bottom as kind of like an overall card, and that's the Fool card. And that's literally the very, very, very beginning of your journey. So to me, that would mean with these two cards that you're definitely trying to get on the path towards something very specific for you.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. That sounds right.
Turn down.
Well, I can't hear her. What everybody else do out?
All right. So since that's just a one card, who's next?
I guess I'm next.
Okay.
I'm the second oldest.
You're all right. So you're working on like multiple projects right now, or at least looking up and being like, okay, here's option A, here's option C, here's B1 and 2, and you're trying to figure out. I think you're gonna do multiple like plans of action, but you're gonna have to weigh out like what's real, what dreams of yours can you actually bring into reality, because sometimes you look and it's like, okay, well, I want that, but it's not even possible. The only thing is having the Magician card is like you're actually in the works right now creating what you want to create. You're manifesting what you want, and you already have all of the tools you need to get that done. It's just a matter of the process of doing it and getting it done and what you really need to focus on. So really pay attention to before you burn yourself out. Like if you have 10 options in front of you, you may want to only focus on 2 or 3 and then, prioritize from there.
Yep, that definitely sounds about right, because not only with setting up our investigations and the podcast,
Mm-hmm.
I'm also doing a project with a friend for his fitness YouTube channel and videography.
Yeah.
And,
like you have all these things, and you're manifesting them. That's the thing. You actually are manifesting these things. But yeah, before burnout happens, I would set, that priority list. What's going to be first, second, third, don't take on 10 at a time.
Yeah, I don't want to go that crazy.
Right, exactly.
That definitely fits.
Okay. But it's the Magician I love because it literally means you're currently manifesting it. Like it's already happening. It's already in the works.
Definitely.
All
right. Ready?
Next. I guess I'm next. Yeah.
Laura's next.
And yours came out right away. I'm going to get one more. Let's go.
Boy.
Oh, I hit the chest thing.
Is there someone around you that you're not trusting so much right now?
I mean, my brother, I don't necessarily trust him to make the right decisions, but he's not in the best headspace right now.
Okay. Because it's either you or somebody around you that's moving with very, very impulsive actions. Like they're acting before they even think about it, basically. Whether that be you or your brother. But it kind of appears that there may be a little deception around you. And not deception to the, well, it shouldn't be deception to the point where it's going to totally ruin your life or anything. But if you find out that somebody may has lied to you, maybe even stole 20 bucks out of your wallet, something like that. On the flip side of that, you could also just be strategizing a better way to do things for yourself instead of, say, being in a group of people and it's like, okay, like I'm not liking working in this group anymore. So I'm just gonna take what I need and go.
So what are the cards? I
Oh,
also
sorry.
read cards professionally.
So then as soon as I say Seven of Swords, you're gonna know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
So Seven of Swords, and then I wanted the other card just to see if it would say anything, and I got the Knight of Wands. And then you do have the Fool on the bottom of the deck.
Hmm. See, the Seven of Swords and Knight of Wands for me, just the basic reading of those cards is
Mhm.
that somebody thinks they're getting away with something,
Right.
and it might relate to a passion project with the Knight of Wands,
Okay.
but the knights are, I can't say that on here. They are the, like, teenagers of the tarot deck. They've got a lot of
Right.
energy and a lot of passion, but
Mhm.
they lack all of that experience and necessary knowledge. So
Right.
the way I see that is whoever this actor is who's with the Seven of Swords getting away with something,
Mhm.
they don't have everything together for themselves to be pulling it off.
Right. I would absolutely agree with you. Yeah. That's why with the Seven of Swords, that one's very flip-sided to me because everyone may jump to, oh, it's, thievery and lies and deception, where it could also be strategy too. Or like you said, especially with the Knight of Wands, like, here I'm taking my stuff, but I may not know what I'm doing with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, how you said it, I totally agree with.
Okay. Well, Natalie,
Ready?
Yep.
Let's see. Aw. I would say somebody's full of life, full of confidence. One card readings are not the easiest for me. I'm not even gonna lie about that. I usually keep going until I can get some like answers or feelings. But with her, things are only moving forward. And if you don't have the confidence right now, you will. So I got the Queen of Wands. Let me make sure I'm I'm reading it correctly. I got the Queen of Wands, the King of Wands, and then Chariot on the bottom. So Chariot's all about your willpower and keeping that together and keeping that in focus to get you going in the right direction to where you need to go. You try to keep the horses of the chariot, like, in line basically, which would be your willpower. And then the King and Queen of Wands, they're the ones who are they're the outgoing ones. They're the risk takers. You can walk into a room and you can just feel the energy radiating off of them. But I'm doing one more because I hate having only court cards out here. Unless that's you and somebody else. Dad.
Maybe, I don't know. She disappeared.
Well, now I'm thinking you have a lot of support around you.
Mhm.
Whether that be living people or not, I don't know, but it's all people. It's all people cards. So I've got like very confident energy, very like, risk taking, but not in a bad way energy. There's the, using your mind to those practical thoughts, smart thinking. You want to be smart about where you want to go with things in life. So I think wherever you are trying to get to in life, you have a lot of support behind you. That's definitely what I see.
Well, she definitely has the support, that's for sure.
Mhm.
Good, good. That's really cool.
Even though some people are skeptics on what she does for the
Yeah.
for the paranormal, she still gets the support.
Mhm.
You like the paranormal, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah. It'll be fine. It's fun.
She's been on what? How many investigations now?
I have to count. I
Like
don't know.
8 or 9, maybe.
Yeah.
See, that's more than me. Like that's why this year I got to get to more places so I can catch up.
Like like when we were forming the team back in October or no early November, I came up
Hmm.
with like a whole list of team names. She's the one who picked the name.
Mhm.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's in this for the long haul.
Yeah. I don't see there's nothing wrong with that. If you're drawn to it and you follow your heart, that's what I tell everybody. Listen to your gut. Which I need to be doing too. Everyone needs to be doing it.
And was it last weekend I tasked her with doing research
2
on
weeks
places
ago.
we're going to this summer and
Hmm.
our packet reads, and yeah, she did a pretty good job.
Yeah. I think that's one of the funnest parts of investigating is finding out the location, the history, any history you can find, land, buildings, whatever it may be.
Mhm.
I think that part is huge. I think a lot of people don't do that enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with the King and Queen of Wands for Natalie, I would add the admonishment or the charge that comes with that card is that the King and Queen of Wands are the popular kids.
Hmm.
They're exciting when they walk into a room, but they are also bringing people up with them.
In a
This isn't
positive way.
like, right, they help people develop their passions around them. They
Yeah,
don't just stand as the shining light and everybody else is down in the darkness.
right. Hence, that's where I was getting like huge support system. Definitely.
Do you think that's right?
Yeah.
And we definitely know that she has the energy. You should see her just in some of her normal chats or like team meetings. This kid's crazy.
Yeah, that's funny. See, I was shy when I was little. I mean, I still have the shy side to this day, but I was definitely a shy kid.
Mhm.
Didn't put myself out there at all.
But yeah, for her age and just like, doing what she's doing and, you know, doing these podcasts and
Yeah.
investigations and, you know, going to be seen on YouTube and just like, going with it and not, you know, just wanting to grow.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. I say keep going with it. Don't give that up. If I could have started earlier, younger, I would have.
Yeah, she does
I
get
don't know.
she
Oh,
does
sorry.
get, oh, she does get scared, but she
Yeah.
still has fun even when she's
That's what I was just gonna say actually. Like when I was younger, because I didn't have like a first real experience that I know of. This is as far back as I can remember having experiences or visions. Like dreams were crazy when I was younger. But for a while, it scared me because I didn't know what it was. And that's all of the process of learning.
yeah, she's had, experience of getting hit in the face with dowsing rods, attacked by
Yeah.
bats,
Mm-hmm.
shadow figure,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and what else?
Lots.
Yep, and she
So
Yeah.
do you guys wear anything like protection or anything?
I don't.
Mm.
Okay. It's total curiosity.
Chad
Because
and
some
I
people
do.
do, some people don't.
Yeah, I wear a couple bracelets.
Okay.
Yeah, I wear my pentacle. Well, I wear these things every day, but my
Yeah.
pentacle and my tourmaline. And
Hmm.
then I also have sort of a mala style necklace with a bat on it. The bat is carved tourmaline and it's gold sheen obsidian on each of the
Oh, that's
beads.
so cool. That's cool. Yeah, I have definitely bracelets galore. Not that cool, but love it. I was gonna wear iron. I had a feeling to wear iron to Madison this past weekend, and I had it with me. I just didn't put it on.
Hmm.
I think that was a bad idea. Next time I'll wear it.
Yeah, I was talking about making Chad a coffin nail necklace so that he
That's what
had
I
some
have.
iron on him. He
Yes.
uh he got picked on by some dark fae at the
Yeah.
what was that house? The boy not the Boyd house. Yeah, the Boyd house. First time we got together
Hmm.
Well,
Okay.
in that little
Yeah, I
blue
know I've
room.
never been there. That's exactly what I have though, is a coffin nail I wear.
Uh,
And then I have others that I just have, obviously just because.
what's that? Okay, well, I don't think I have any other questions. I went through what was on my list. I don't know if Chad or Laurel have anything they'd like to ask before we end for the night.
no, yeah. I mean, she filled us in pretty well on Eloise.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah,
There's so much to that place. It would be so hard to sit down in an hour and just tell everything that we even know, besides
yeah.
the stuff that we don't know. I don't think I mentioned though, like people do get scratched, people do uh hair pulling, a couple people got rushed on the stairs.
Uh,
Granted, I don't think it was a malicious act with the stairs. I think somebody was literally just rushing by somebody, but it did make them fall. And this person, I'm laughing because this person admits to being very clumsy. So they're like, no, 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 it's fine. It's fine. Just kind of brushed it off. Yeah, that all happens there though.
yeah, I get touched at almost every place I go. I mean, yeah, for my normal everyday job, I deliver salt and water, water softener, salt, and bottled water. Yeah, so
Okay.
I end up in a lot of basements. I get touched all the time.
Okay. And you're working with like water and salt. I wonder if that has anything to do with it.
Yeah, it could
I
be.
don't know. It's interesting. Very interesting.
I'm sure it adds to it.
Yeah, I would
Yeah,
think so. That's cool.
Yeah, so the last thing we do in our podcast is give you an opportunity to plug your socials, tell the people where they can find you.
I'm terrible with social media, but I'm trying to get better. I have Facebook and Instagram. I have a TikTok, but I don't really use it. And it's all going to be just my name or Toxikitten. Everyone makes me spell it.
I'll find all of those and put them in the description.
Okay. Yeah, that's it. Like Facebook and Instagram, I think are the two that I have to use the most. So,
All right. Well, thank you for joining us tonight.
thanks for having me.
Yes, and thanks for putting up with doing it old school and not live as originally planned, but technical
That's fine.
issues. So
This was my first, so, nerves.
oh hey,
Just gotta put the nerves to the
you
side.
there's always the nerves.
Yeah.
All right, so that is all we have for you tonight. So you have a great
Okay.
rest of your night.
You
Yeah.
too. Thank you.
Yes,
Have a
you're
great
welcome.
Good
weekend.
meeting you.
Yep. All right.
You
Have a
too.
good night, everybody.
All right.
Night.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
This has been Nightmare Stories of the Other Side, a production of Nightmare Explorers.